Now, Polo G, a rapper I've talked about in the past a couple months ago, that was before the release of his album though, and it was before the major success he's seen ever since then. This is easily one of the better rappers to come out in 2019, along with someone like Roddy Ricch. He's honestly surpassed my expectations for what I thought he could do, and it's been a good run for him so far. Let's talk a little bit about his recipe for success, which, as you can see from the title, is melodies and passion. These are two things you'll consistently find throughout his records, and especially on his Die a Legend album that came out this summer. This is my favorite hip-hop/rap album of 2019 for a reason. I mean, there are so many good things about this project. Polo really has way more depth to him than people realize. The way he uses his vocals to convey so much emotion on some of his tracks while simultaneously staying on top of his strengths is kind of impressive. A lot of his success comes from how he's able to relate to the listener on a one-on-one level, especially on some of his more heartfelt records. One really good example is Deep Wounds, where some of the topics he's discussing definitely hits deep.
I've been scarred by your love, left my heart bleeding, my soul posted in the shadows with some dark demons.
It's not only real and relatable, but the replay value is there. The thing I like about Polo G is he comes across as very transparent. It's not gonna take you too much to get a clear understanding of him as an artist. On pretty much all of his songs, he's consistently bringing up, things that are very much real. Things about his upbringing, friends dying in front of him, having to use drugs to numb the pain due to the things he had to witness. Not because he's trying to glorify that kind of behavior, but because you can be better than him. There's a lot of lessons you can learn from closely paying attention to Polo G. He's not afraid to put his negative experiences out there for the world to judge, and it's not always about just being able to do that. I say this because one of the biggest reasons as to why Polo's recipe to success is even a thing is due to him being able to create records with a crazy replay value. He's doing that while keeping his lyrical content authentic and meaningful. I've talked about Roddy Ricch in the past, who also does an amazing job at that. NBA Youngboy is another rapper who I think does that well too. YB and Cordae as well, even though he's in a completely different lane. It's not always about just being able to rap or having meaningful lyrics. You gotta mix that together with a good sounding track, which Polo G so far seems to be one of the better young rappers who does exactly that. I want to say this about Polo G. A lot of young rappers in this day and age have an extremely hard time separating themselves from the rest. There's just not enough contrast out there in my opinion. This does make sense because the whole new wave of rap created a space and trend where everyone is afraid to stick out. It's a monkey see, monkey do kind of time. I think Polo though is naturally distancing himself from getting boxed in with a typical rapper who's taking off right now. He has a very strong intention with how he's doing things, and to be honest, he just seems way more motivated, driven, and focused than most rappers out right now. This laser focus he has is really just a byproduct of something else Polo has, which is a bigger purpose behind why he's making music. He wants to buy his block when he financially gets to a position where he's able to do that, and he talked about that on Finer Things. And that right there is a reason that's bigger than him, and you can hear these things in the music itself. I think a lot of rappers struggle to stay driven enough to want to become better at their craft because the reason why they're even rapping in the first place might not be something that's gonna benefit their community or people in general. Obviously, different people are motivated by different things, but the best case scenario is to have a purpose that's bigger than just, for example, making money. You gotta seize every single opportunity that comes your way as a young artist in hip-hop right now, because if you don't, best believe someone else will. That's essentially the whole recipe Polo is working with. His music is beyond great. He's an extremely easy rapper to get into. There's not too many bad things about him you can point out. Sure, he's not a finished product, but really, who is? The amount of passion that's oozing out of him in his records is very noticeable, and I think people see that. It's funny because I've seen a lot of old heads tuning into his music and becoming fans, which says a lot about him. Polo G is really for everybody. I mean, he's just universal. The melodies and the passion formula he's utilizing so well is definitely paying off. I'm really just wondering, where exactly is he gonna go from here? What I'm hoping is that he stays focused and fully sticks to what he's been doing. Growing and evolving is always necessary, but for Polo G, not losing that passion inside of him is gonna be why at the end he will die a legend.